Hey everyone, hope everyone is doing well. So in this video here, I am actually going to answer a question I have been asked a lot, especially in my latest video. Somebody asked it, how free-to-play friendly is Arlecchino? That's a good question, Now, before answering this, I need to go over some details, especially, honestly, it only comes down to two things, your teams and your weapon. That's all, because getting resources in this game is pretty easy. It's not like the bosses will hold you back from getting materials to level up the characters or whatever. So I will have to go through the weapons, and then I'll go through some teammates that you could use with her that majority of players should have by now. But you see the thing with Genshin Impact, right? You know how there was this whole drama thing about Akira not being free-to-play friendly because he needed her light cone? I don't ever really think that we had a problem like that in Genshin Impact. Although it has been proven that Acheron is free-to-play friendly and she doesn't need her light cone. Oh wow, just drama for no reason, right? Yes, Scaramouche, understand that. So yeah, let me go through some weapons that I think that could work very well with Arlecchino if you are not going to go for her weapon. You know how harsh the weapon banner could be. So let's get to it. Okay, so starting off here, if you are a beginner player, you're not gonna have, I only have two 5-star weapons here, right? The Primordial Jade, Wing Spear, and the Staff of Homer, and I'll get to those very soon. Now, if you are starting off, I wouldn't really push or advise any players to go for a later unit into the game as yet, unless if you really like her and you can invest in the time to go into the region to get the materials to level her up, then yeah. But like if you are now starting off, you might, collect some of these. These are actually really good for her because she does do a lot of normal attack and it provides crit rate. But early on in the game, you don't really focus too much on the artifacts and the substats to get a 1 to 2 crit rate to crit damage ratio. You don't really do that, so you just want something to get by. And once you could just put on some, mediocre stuff on the character, this should do well. Now, starting off with some of her best weapons, in my opinion, in the beginning, like if you are completely free to play and you have no option, hopefully you could probably get one of this for her. This thing is in the shop right now. You could probably get it to refinement rank 5 and it does good. Once you defeat enemies, it increases the damage that she will do. It's a pretty good weapon. It might actually look good on her, But I think personally, if you are going to get her, right, and you have a vape team waiting on her, you might want to invest in something like this. Now, this is gacha exclusive. You can only get this in the banners. You can't buy this for free. Majority of the weapons that we have in the game, you don't really get them free unless from an event. This weapon is going to be like really solid for her, especially in a vape team. If you didn't know, this is one of Hu Tao's top 3 weapons, sometimes maybe second best, sometimes top 3. It's so good. Once you get this thing to refinement rank 5, it increases the damage by 36% once the enemy is inflicted with Hydro Pyro. And once you have a character like Sinsho or any type of good Hydro applicating characters, you are going to get this buff. The Elemental Mastery, this thing will boost the damage of the Vaporizers to like maximum level. It's really, really good. Now, I'm not sure if we have any free event weapons that works with her. Let me just go through it quick. Now, with the 2 event weapons that we get in Genshin, hopefully you have them. I don't think that you will want to use this on her. She doesn't scale with HP, so just don't use this. This one could be good, because it has some attack. I haven't leveled it up to see how high the base attack is, but within 10 seconds after elemental reaction is triggered, attack will be increased by 24%. Our elemental mastery is increased by 96%. This is actually kind of solid if you don't have any option. Like, honestly, don't go for this if you have this at refinement rank 5, honestly, because if you have this, most likely you're going to be working up to something else better in the future, like maybe this year, or maybe try to snag one of this from the standard banner or such. This is actually really fantastic. You're getting a good amount of attack percentage and elemental mastery. The vaporized damage will go up. So if you have this, I think this might be the best free-to-play option. If you don't have this from the event, then you would want to go for this. Stay away from this polearm. Use this for like Chevrus or something. Now, before I move on to the 5-star weapons and some other weapons, I just want to go through the Battle Pass weapons quick. Okay, so going through the Battle Pass here, this is a fantastic weapon. The Death March has always been a great alternative for a lot of polearm characters. You get attack increase, And the big thing is that you get defense increase. You know that there's this talk going around that Arlecchino might be really squishy and she might need some supports to keep her alive. This defense is actually really good for her. So like, let me see how this thing scales at R5 if any of you have this thing. Okay, so at R5, attack is increased by 32% and defense is increased by 32%. This is massive. If there are fewer enemies, 2 opponents nearby, attack is increased by 48%. Yeah, so deathmatch right now, it's amazing. This might be one of her best 4 stars in the game. This might like be on par with this thing because you could just put elemental mastery sands on her and you will get enough elemental mastery to maybe match this. But the crit rate is just massive. The defense increase is also insane, plus you get attack. Overall, this might be one of her best 4-star weapons hand down. Like, if I had to choose between these two, you know I love consistency. I like to balance my crit ratio. I might go for this with Arlecchino if I didn't have any 5-star weapons. I actually forgot to mention this weapon. This is in post-editing. This is actually a fantastic battle pass weapon. This could work with Hu Tao, this could work with Xianglin. This could work with for Arlecchino. You get a good crit rate, and plus when you have 3 different elemental types in your party, most likely you're gonna have a Pyro, a Hydro, and maybe a Geo or Animo character, and you will get the full passive of this. Overall, this is a good weapon. Between these two, I would recommend the deathmatch, and I'll explain about the elements coming up in the video. I also forgot about this weapon, the catch. Don't use this on her, it's not good. Okay, so let's go on to the 5-star pole arms that we have. Let me see if I can pull up all here. So let's look at some pole arms here, and then I'll go through the top 2 in my opinion. If you are this guy, wait, are you serious? You can't see the details of a weapon that you don't have? But Stariel, you could do that? Oh my god, bro. Alright, pole arms. So we have the Skyward Harp, we have the Vortex Vanquisher, Primordial Jade Cutter, Calamity Queller, Engulfing Lightning, Staff of Scarlet Sands, and this is her best in slot weapon. I might have to censor this thing off, right? Okay, so if you have the Skyward Spine, this thing increases the crit rate by 8% and increase normal attack speed by 12%. Additionally, normal and charge attack hits have a 50% chance to trigger a Vacuum Blade. Don't really worry about that. This does provide a good amount of ER. It will be enough to her damage, but if you have this thing and you don't have anything else, you do get a good amount of crit rate and you get some normal attack speed. It has a very solid base attack at 674. This base attack is massive. The energy recharge might come in handy for Arlecchino if you are having problems to get her burst. It's not a solid option, but it is an option. Probably not as good as the Deathmatch or the Dragon's Bane, but it is a good option. Then we have Vortex Vanquisher, Calamity, Engulfing Light. No. Straight up, no. A very interesting weapon I have been asked about from Red Thunder King is this weapon here. It provides crit rate. You will get a maximum of 44, which is just insane. The base attack isn't the highest, but it's alright. If you're going to use her with Bennett, you're going to get a good amount of attack percentage. Now let's see the passive. The equipping character gains 52% of their elemental mastery as bonus attack. Now this 52 sounds a lot, but how much elemental mastery are you going to have on Arlecchino? The most that you might have is 181 from Asans. I think it's 181 or 161, somewhere around there. And you're only going to get 52% of that as bonus attack. And that isn't percentage, that's base attack. Now when the elemental skill hits our opponent, you will get this effect for 10 seconds. The equipping character will gain 28% of their elemental mastery as bonus attack. And it stacks up 3 times. This thing, no. This is just a waste on Arlecchino. Don't use this on her because you need to have the elemental skill hitting multiple times to trigger this thing to get 3 stacks or something. Oh, let's go to the 2 weapons that I do have. Staff of Homer. This thing here has been a stat stick for a lot of polearm characters. Even though we don't really have that much HP scaling polearm DPSs in this game, this will be a solid option for her because it does has a HP conversion. It will not be as big as what Hu Tao will get, but you do get a very good base attack. You do get a great crit damage here. And plus, you get more HP, so it makes her a little bit more tanky. Now, we're not sure if Arlecchino will be living like close to death like Hu Tao, always below 50% HP. But I mean, if she does get that, you will get this attack bonus off your max HP, which is good. Overall, Staff of Foma, top 3 weapons for Arlecchino, especially in 5-star category. This will be a very good weapon on her. Now, the weapon most likely I am going to use on Arlecchino is this weapon, the Primordial Jade Wing Spear. On hit, increase attack by 3.2% for 6 seconds, and you get 7 stacks. This effect only occurs every 0.3 seconds, so once you auto-attack and this thing will stack up. While in possession of the maximum possible stacks, your damage will be increased by 12%. This is a very solid weapon. The base attack is very high, the crit rate is good too. Overall, like between these 2 weapons, like if you do love Hu Tao, you could keep this on her. If you have an extra one of this and you don't use it on anybody, throw this on Arlecchino. This is going to be a very, very strong weapon on Arlecchino. So looking back for free-to-play players, if you have this weapon, most likely you should have this weapon. This is a fantastic free-to-play weapon on her if you don't have anything else. I shouldn't be talking about the deathmatch in this video for free-to-play, right? But anyway, this weapon here, amazing. If you are free to play, the best 4-star weapon that you could use on her is this weapon. By now, you should be able to have a couple copies of this, even at refinement rank 1. It should be good on her. It won't be the best option, but if you want the best option for her, you know, you're gonna have to get her best in slot weapon. I wish I could go through the details of that weapon for you guys, but let's just wait till the live stream next week. And well, that wraps up the weapons for free to play. Now, what is the game changer in this game? It's the supports. Now, let me just go through her best support that you could use on her. It's Bennett. Bennett gives a massive amount of attack percentage. If you have Bennett, you should have Bennett by now. If you are going to pull Arlecchino, almost everybody should have this unit in their account. The second character majority of you should have is Sincho. We got him free in our event. We got a skin for him. Overall, this unit here is the goat of Hydro for every free-to-play account or just players looking for the most amount of Hydro application. Is he a free-to-play accessible character? Yes. Now, the last option will be either a shielder or a animo support. Now, the only animo support that I see that you could be using with Arlecchino will be Sucrose if you don't have anybody else. She is fantastic. She is on par with Kazuha. There are some people that still think she is better than Kazuha. It all comes down to how you use the character. Is she free to play accessible? She has been out. Like these 3 characters I just mentioned, they have been out since the beginning of this game. So most likely some of you supposed to have these characters by now. If not, you know, try and get them. That will be the best free-to-play team for Arlecchino, and it's a team that has been out for the longest of time. It's going to be Bennett, it's going to be Sincho, and it's going to be Sucrose. Now, if you are looking for a shielder, tell me you have Zhongli, right? Please tell me you didn't fall for what everybody was saying and those content creators saying to skip this goat of a unit, this specimen of a man. This unit here, best shielder in the game. If you have him, yes, he will be an awesome shielder for Arlecchino. Now, I think a lot of people are overlooking this one character, and that's Kirara. You know that if you stack a lot of HP on her, she is like the second best shielder in this game, right? If you have her and you have her built, yes, she could be a good shielder for Arlecchino. She doesn't trigger that much Dendro. So just looking at those characters and the free-to-play options of weapons that you could use on Arlecchino, she's looking like a good free-to-play unit to use. She may not be the easiest to use, but then again, bro, it's Genshin Impact. They don't really make anything that mechanically difficult to use in this game. Who was the most difficult unit to use in this game? Hu Tao? And everybody mastered how to do jump cancel on mobile with Hu Tao. Just practice a lot. Arlecchino will be a free-to-play friendly unit. And that's my final verdict of Arlecchino. So yeah, I will leave my Discord down below. I will be pulling for Arlecchino in the next 2 weeks when her banner drops. Am I going for C1 Arlecchino with one of those weapons I just mentioned here? Or am I going for a C0 Arlecchino and risk getting piped in the weapon banner? I don't know. I'll have to think about this, and that's a good video. I'll drop that next. So I will drop the Discord down below. You could come through, we could chat, we could maybe talk sometimes. And yeah, let me know what you think about this. Leave it awesome below. Hit a like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care.